The elevator hummed as it climbed to the 33rd floor of the Alder Room, a rooftop restaurant perched like a crown atop the city's skyline. Its reputation was whispered in elite circles. Invitation only, no prices on the menus, a place where wealth wasn't just assumed but required. The doors slid open with a soft chime, and Cameron Elise stepped out. Her sneakers, white, scuffed at the edges, squeaked faintly against the black marble floor. She wore faded black jeans, a tucked-in gray tee, and a denim jacket hanging loosely over one shoulder. Her hair was swept into a low bun, a single silver ring glinting on her thumb. No watch, no designer bag, just her, looking like she'd wandered in from a different world. The hostess stood behind a sleek podium, her posture rigid, her navy blazer pristine. She was in her mid-30s with sharp cheekbones and an air of quiet authority. Her eyes flicked over Cameron, down to the sneakers, up to the lack of jewelry, and a faint crease appeared between her brows. "I'm sorry," she said, her tone polite but clipped. "The Rooftops closed for a private event today." Cameron tilted her head, a small smile tugging at her lips. "I know, I'm here for it." The hostess blinked, her expression tightening. She tapped her tablet, nails clicking against the screen, scrolling through a list with deliberate slowness. "Name?" she asked, already sounding unconvinced. "Cameron Elise," Cameron replied, her voice steady, unhurried. The hostess paused, her finger hovering over the tablet. "I don't see you here," she said, glancing up. "This is a corporate luncheon, board members, investors. Are you sure you're in the right place?" Before Cameron could answer, a man approached. Samuel Lorne, broad-shouldered in a charcoal suit, his cufflinks catching the light. He carried himself like someone used to being noticed, his voice deep and smooth. "Everything all right, Natalie?" he asked the hostess, barely glancing at Cameron. "She says she's here for the event," Natalie replied, her tone dry. Lorne turned, sizing Cameron up with a quick, dismissive sweep. He chuckled, a low sound that didn't invite her to join in. "Lost, maybe? The cafe's 2 floors down, better fit for—" He gestured vaguely at her outfit. Cameron didn't flinch. "I'm not lost," she said, her eyes locking with his. "I'm exactly where I need to be." Lorne's smile faltered, but he pressed on. "Look, this is a closed event. Unless you're someone's +1, I'd suggest—" He stopped as Cameron pulled out her phone, dialing a number with calm precision. "It's me," she said into it. "They don't know who I am. Again." Lorne's brows shot up, and Natalie's grip on the tablet tightened. "What's that supposed to mean?" he demanded, irritation creeping into his voice. Cameron lowered the phone. "You'll see." The elevator dinged again, and 3 men stepped out, navy blazers, polished shoes, moving with the quiet efficiency of a well-oiled machine. One held a tablet, another a leather folder. They walked straight to Cameron. "Miss Elise," the tallest said, his tone clipped but respectful. "We're ready when you are." The air shifted. Natalie's face went blank, and Lorne's jaw twitched. "Wait, Miss Elise?" he stammered, his confidence unraveling. Cameron turned to him, her expression neutral. "That's right." She nodded toward the glass doors leading to the dining room. "Shall we?" Lorne didn't move, his brain scrambling to catch up. Natalie murmured, I didn't realize." Cameron cut her off, her voice cool. "You didn't ask." The tallest man spoke again. "Boardroom A's prepped. We can start the walkthrough whenever you're ready." Cameron nodded. "Give me a minute." She faced Lorne again. "You said this was for executives and investors." He swallowed, nodding stiffly. "Yeah. Good," she said, "because I'm both." The words landed like a quiet thunderclap. Lorne forced a smile. the kind that hid panic. "Which company are you with?" Cameron tilted her head. "I'm not with one. I own this one." His eyes widened. "The Alder Room," she continued. "I bought it 2 months ago. No press, no fanfare. I wanted to see it for myself, how it runs, who runs it." She paused, letting that sink in. "And what I've seen so far? Not impressive." Natalie stepped forward, her voice shaky. "Miss Elise, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to—" Cameron held up a hand. "You assumed I didn't belong. That's the problem." Lorne cleared his throat. "If we'd known, you'd have treated me differently," she finished. "That's exactly why I didn't announce it." She turned to the men in blazers. "Let's start the inspection." As she walked away, flanked by her team, Lorne stood rooted, his smugness replaced by something smaller. Uncertainty, maybe even fear. Natalie stared at her tablet, as if it might rewrite the last 5 minutes. The staff nearby, waiters, bartenders, watched in silence, sensing a shift they couldn't yet name. Here's the second part of the script, continuing seamlessly from the first. It maintains the flowing style, deepens Cameron's backstory, and introduces more varied reactions from secondary characters to enrich the conflict. Cameron moved through the glass doors into the dining room, her sneakers silent now against the thick carpet. The space was a study in understated luxury. Dark wood tables, crystal chandeliers casting soft light, a floor-to-ceiling view of the city sprawling below. Her team followed, their presence a quiet counterpoint to the tension still simmering behind her. She stopped near the bar, glancing at the rows of gleaming bottles, then turned to the man with the tablet. "Start with the service logs," she said. "I want to see how staff handle reservations, especially the ones they don't expect." He nodded, tapping the screen, while the other two fanned out to check the floor setup. Back at the podium, Lorne ran a hand through his hair, his composure fraying. "She owns it?" he muttered to Natalie, his voice low but sharp. "How did we not know this?" Natalie didn't look up from her tablet, her fingers trembling slightly as she scrolled through old emails. It wasn't public. The sale was through a holding company. Nothing flagged her name. Lorne snorted, pacing a tight circle. "Great, so now what? She's here to play undercover boss and fire us all?" Natalie finally met his eyes, her expression a mix of guilt and defiance. "She didn't fire us yet. Maybe she's just testing us." Lorne stopped, his jaw tight. "Testing us?" "She looked at me like I'm disposable. You saw that." Across the room, Cameron caught snippets of their hushed exchange, but kept her focus on the tablet being handed to her. She scrolled through the logs, names, times, notes. Guest asked about wine price, redirected to manager, one entry read. Another. Client attire casual, seated in back corner. Her lips pressed into a thin line. She handed the tablet back. "This isn't a restaurant," she said quietly. "It's a gatekeeping club." The man beside her, David, her operations lead, nodded. "It's been like this for years. The staff lean into the exclusivity angle, makes them feel superior." Cameron's eyes narrowed. "Superior to who? The people paying their salaries?" She turned, catching sight of a young woman wiping down a table nearby. Mid-20s, black apron, her movements quick but nervous. Cameron approached her. "What's your name?" The girl froze, then straightened. "Ava," she said, her voice soft. "How long have you worked here, Ava?" Cameron asked. 5 months, Ava replied, glancing at the floor. "And what's it like?" Ava hesitated, her fingers tightening around the rag. "It's fine. The pay's good." Cameron tilted her head. "That's not what I asked." Ava's eyes flicked up, then away. It's hard sometimes. We're told to prioritize certain guests, the ones who look the part. Others, we're supposed to rush them out. Cameron nodded, filing that away. Thank you, Ava. She stepped back, her gaze sweeping the room. This wasn't just about Lorne or Natalie. It was deeper, baked into the bones of the place. She thought of her own start. 16 years old, bussing tables at a diner her mother owned, a crumbling spot on the edge of town. The kind of place where truckers and single moms ate side by side, where respect wasn't tied to a credit limit. Her mom had drilled it into her. Every person who walks in is your guest, Cam. Doesn't matter what they're wearing. That diner was long gone, sold to pay bills after her mom got sick, but it was the seed of everything Cameron had built since. 3 restaurants, a catering firm, now this. She hadn't climbed this far to let her name sit on a place that forgot where she came from. She signaled David. Call the staff in, 15 minutes conference lounge. Everyone. He nodded and moved off. Cameron walked to the edge of the room, staring out at the skyline. She wasn't angry, not yet. Anger came later when people doubled down. Right now, she was listening, watching, weighing what this place could be against what it was. Behind her, Lorne approached cautiously, his earlier bravado gone. Ms. Elise, he said, his tone careful. Can we talk? She didn't turn. About what? He shifted his weight. I didn't mean to come off like that earlier. It's just, this place has rules, expectations. I thought I was doing my job. Cameron faced him, her expression unreadable. Your job isn't to judge who belongs. It's to make sure they feel like they do. Lorne bristled, a flicker of defiance returning. With respect, this isn't a diner. Our clients expect a certain standard. Cameron stepped closer, her voice low but firm. I grew up in a diner, built my first business from one, and I learned more about service there than you've picked up in your tailored suits. Lorne blinked, caught off guard. I'm not saying you're wrong, he backpedaled, but changing how we operate, it's not that simple. Cameron studied him. It's not simple, but it's necessary. Before he could argue, David returned. Staff's gathering now. She nodded. Good, let's see what they have to say. As she walked toward the lounge, Lorne lingered, his hands in his pockets. Natalie joined him, her voice a whisper. She's not bluffing, Sam, we're in deep. Lorne didn't respond, but his eyes followed Cameron, a mix of resentment and unease settling in. This wasn't over, not for him, not for any of them. Cameron stepped into the conference lounge, the air thick with unease. The staff lined the walls, waiters in crisp shirts, bartenders with folded arms, kitchen crew still in aprons. About 30 faces, some curious, some guarded. Lorne lingered near the door, his posture stiff, while Natalie stood off to the side, her tablet clutched like a lifeline. Cameron crossed her arms loosely, scanning the room. Silence stretched, heavy and expectant. Finally, she spoke. What does this place mean to you? Her voice was calm, but it carried. No one answered at first. Then Ava, the young woman from earlier, raised a tentative hand. It's elite dining, private events, high standards. Cameron nodded. And what does that look like in practice? Ava hesitated. It means treating the right people well. A murmur rippled through the group. Cameron's gaze sharpened. The right people? Ava flushed but pressed on. The ones who fit, wealthy, connected. Others, we're told to move them along. Cameron let that sit, then turned to the room. Anyone else? A bartender, mid-30s, lean, with a tight jaw, spoke up. It's how we've always done it. Keeps the vibe exclusive. His tone wasn't hostile, just matter of fact. Cameron nodded again. I didn't build this company for exclusivity. I built it for excellence. There's a difference." A few frowned, unsure. "Exclusivity picks winners before they walk in," she said. "Excellence earns their trust after." She paced a step. "When I came in today, you didn't see me. You saw my shoes, my jeans, and you wrote me off. That's not excellence, that's laziness." The bartender shifted, uncomfortable. Lorne cut in, his voice tight. "Look, Miss Elise, we're not mind readers. We go by what we see. It's how this place survives." Cameron turned to him. "It's surviving on a lie. I started in a diner where every guest mattered. Truckers, families, anyone. That's why I'm here. Why this exists. You've turned it into something I don't recognize." Lorne's eyes flashed. "Not everyone can afford this. That's reality. And not everyone needs to," she shot back, "but they deserve respect when they're here." A soft voice broke in. Ava again. "It's not just today. I've seen guests ignored, mocked behind their backs. It's normal here." Heads turned, some nodding, others glaring. A server piped up, defensive. "We're not rude, they just don't get it sometimes." Cameron's jaw tightened. "They don't need to get it, you do." She faced the group. "This culture's rotten. I'm not here to fire you all. I'm here to fix it. Starting now, we're reviewing everything. Service, training, biases. Twice over. It won't be quick, and it won't be easy." The bartender scoffed. "You think we can just flip a switch?" "No," Cameron said. "But you can start." A woman stepped forward. Marcia, the manager, late 40s, weary-eyed. "I've been here 6 years. I let this slide, thought it kept us afloat." Cameron met her gaze. "And now?" Marcia exhaled. "Now I'll help change it. I'll train with them." Cameron studied her, then nodded. "Good, but it's on all of you too." She paused. "If you can't handle that, walk away. No hard feelings." No one moved, but the tension shifted. Not agreement, not yet, but a crack in the armor. Lorne crossed his arms, silent but simmering. Cameron turned to her team. "Let's finish the inspection." As she left, the room buzzed, some resentful, some rattled, all aware the ground had shifted beneath them. Cameron stepped out of the lounge, the hum of staff whispers fading behind her. She crossed the dining floor, her team trailing as they resumed the inspection, checking table settings, bar stock, the rhythm of the place. The skyline glittered beyond the glass, indifferent to the shift unfolding inside. She paused by the bar, watching Ava polish a glass with careful focus. Cameron approached. "Ava," she said, her tone softer now. The girl looked up, startled. "Yes, Miss Elise?" "What you said in there, it took guts. Why'd you speak up?" Ava's hands stilled. I was tired of pretending it was okay. I've felt it too, judged, even as staff." Cameron nodded, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. "Keep that, it's rare." She moved on, joining David at a corner table. "What's the next step?" he asked, his tablet glowing with notes. "Training starts tomorrow," she said. "Small groups, hands-on. I'll sit in on the first round, quietly." He raised a brow. "You're staying?" "For now," she replied. "This isn't a speech and done deal, it's a rebuild." She glanced back at the lounge door, where Marcia emerged, her face set with quiet resolve. The manager approached, hands clasped. "Miss Elise, I meant what I said. I'll lead by example. But it'll take time." Cameron met her gaze. "It always does. I'll be watching, Marcia, not to catch you out, to see if this sticks." Marcia nodded, a weight lifting, though not entirely. Lorne lingered near the podium, his posture rigid as Natalie murmured something to him. He caught Cameron's eye, then looked away, his silence loud with unspoken pushback. She didn't approach him, not yet. He'd either adapt or unravel on his own. She turned to David. "Schedule a follow-up in 2 weeks. I'll come back unannounced." He tapped the screen. Done. Cameron adjusted her jacket, the denim brushing her shoulder. "Let's wrap this." As her team packed up, she walked to the glass wall, staring out. Her mom's voice echoed faintly. Every guest, Cam. A tether to why she'd fought for this, from that diner's chipped counters to this polished rooftop. The next morning, she returned alone. Same jeans, same sneakers, no fanfare. The elevator chimed, and she stepped onto the 33rd floor. A new host, a young man, early 20s, stood at the podium. He looked up, hesitated, then smiled. "Welcome," he said, no trace of doubt. "Table or event?" Cameron tilted her head. "Just visiting." He nodded, unfazed. "Let me know if you need anything." She moved past, catching sight of Ava at the bar, now chatting with a guest. A middle-aged woman in a simple coat, no glares or rushed service in sight. Marcia hovered nearby, observing, her clipboard in hand. It wasn't perfect. A waiter in the corner still eyed her sneakers, and Lauren's absence felt deliberate. He'd clocked out early, Natalie later told her. But the air was different, less brittle, more open. Cameron slid into a booth, watching the room hum. No one rushed her, no one questioned her. A server brought water without prompting, his nod polite. She sipped it, the cold glass grounding her. This wasn't victory, not yet. Change was a slow burn, and she'd stoke it, visit by visit. As she left, Ava caught her eye and gave a small wave. Cameron smiled back, stepping into the elevator. The doors closed, and for the first time that week she exhaled fully, not because it was fixed, but because it had begun.